So the thing that we have to realize, understand, Lamar is not under contract. If he gets franchise tagged, he is not under contract. All that tag is a placeholder, right? Saying that nobody else can deal with him except for the Ravens, right? Until he signs that franchise tender, he is not under contract. They can't move him anywhere. So, when they're talking to teams about possible trades and all that stuff, yeah, they're working something out in principle. And that team, before they agree to anything, they're going to want to get an agreement from Lamar in principle. So it has to be where Lamar says he wants to go, not where the team wants to send him, because the downside about the franchise tag, I hate the franchise tag to begin with, but the downside for the team is Lamar doesn't have to be under contract when you tag him, but that cap hits you immediately. So they'll be on the hook for $45 million, which is going to limit them in the offseason when they're trying to make free agency moves and things like that, right? So if they're trying to trade him, they need to make that happen sooner rather than later, right? Especially if they're looking for draft picks.
So Pretty says Lamar is going to be on the tag. He doesn't have control. He can sit out the season or accept the trade. I would love for you to sit there and tell me a team that has 28 million in cap room is going to tag him for either 32 million or 45 million and let him sit on that tag the entire season without working out a trade.
Well,
that
who do you?
That is complete and utter nonsense.
Well, hold on, because okay, read that.
Daniel Franklin says that the Ravens are going to talk to teams, get their best offers, and tell Lamar he can talk to these 3 teams and figure out which one you want to go to. And then what happens when he says no? Send me to Miami. What are you going to do? If you are the Baltimore Ravens and you have tagged Lamar Jackson with the exclusive franchise tag, because it has to be that one, because otherwise he talks to whoever he wants to talk to. So you tag him for $45 million. You have $28 million in cap room. You say, hey, you can go to Chicago, you can go to Detroit, or you can go to, I don't know, the Seahawks or whatever. And he says, send me to Miami. What are you going to do? What are you going to do for the entirety of free agency when you have no money because Lamar Jackson is taking up $45 million on your cap?
Well, well, look, we're beyond that point if we're being honest, right? They've already tried to flex, right? And Lamar just said, "Nah, we'll play this out," right? So they're already losing. Are they going to take another L by trying to hold on? They're going to have $45 million against the cap for a guy that's not going to sign with them, right? Like, and it doesn't have to play into the season. That's the thing. He can do this through training camp, and it just limits what they can do in the offseason, which will greatly hurt them, right? And if Lamar wants to, he could just say, "Yeah, Lamar has until like week 6 or 7 to sign that tender." So if they go into the season without Lamar Jackson and they didn't make any moves in the offseason, no free agency moves because they can't, 7 weeks, that's a lot of losses. And a coach like Harbaugh isn't going to survive that. He'll get fired. Shout out to Raven Ron for the $5. Okay, Raven Ron, appreciate you, man. Says Panthers can have a Pro Bowler, Tyler Huntley, and 2 EBT cards for J.C. Horn and Brian Burns.
You know what? because of the donation you make, I'm not even going to argue with you, Ron. You got it, man.
So I mean, they can't survive a losing streak like that, and it will be a losing streak, right? If you think Tyler Huntley is going to get you a bunch of wins, you just look at his record. Tyler Huntley has 2 wins for his career. He's played a lot of games, right? He's played a lot of games, not a lot of wins. They can't survive that. EDC can't survive that. That would be a complete disaster. So they're not going to even try that. It is going to be what Lamar wants.
It wouldn't even have to go into the season. EDC, you won't be able to survive if Lamar sits and says, you know what, I'm not signing this tag until after the draft. And then you got to take picks where you don't know where they are. And it ends up, I traded Lamar Jackson for the 28th pick in 2024.
Yeah.
Daniel Frank, do you think Watson wanted to go to the Browns? The money will convince him. And don't get me wrong, this is the worst case scenario in my opinion. Yes, he wanted to go to the Browns because all he cared about was the money.
Mm-hmm. There are other teams that were willing to give up a whole lot, right? The Browns, they didn't say you're going to the Browns because that's the best offer we can get, right? he said, "I want the Browns." In fact, he was telling who was in, who was out. Initially, the Browns were out, and then the Browns upped their offer, and they said, "Okay, you're back in." Right? There were a whole bunch of teams that were making their pitch to Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun picked Cleveland, and I know why that doesn't ring true, because who would? But that's how it went down.
You know it's true because he got a contract that no other owner wants to pay the quarterback yet.